You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back to this week's Friday Review. Great to have you with me here today. Excited to dive into today's show. Each and every Friday, what I try to do is bring you the best of the week from our virtual and Boston-based functional medicine practice. All the exciting news that we have going over, whether it's equilibrium nutrition or integrative health practitioner, or things that I've just seen go on in my practice that I thought would be helpful to you. I want to pass those things along to you. I also want to bring you some research. So I try to give you some bite-sized takeaways that you can use each Friday from research, sometimes my favorite products, sometimes my favorite book reviews, and of course, through 2018. And yes, we are coming to a close with our Super Nutrient of the Week. But every single Friday for all of 2018, we've been bringing you one new nutrient and why you need it in your diet, your everyday diet typically. So again, if you ever have a question on whether it's vitamin B3 or whether it's calcium or magnesium or potassium, what I want you to do is just head on over to stephencabral.com/podcasts and type in the nutrient that you're looking to learn more about. And with 52 nutrients over the course, superfoods and super nutrients over the course of 2018, the one you're looking for should be there. So excited to get into today's as well. Today's works both topically and internally. That's absolutely fantastic for the body. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you about that. But let's just dive right into today's Friday review. So a couple of things that I wanted to bring to your attention. We've had so many people, which has just been absolutely fantastic, really taking advantage of the Black Friday, the Cyber Monday-based offers over at Equilibrium Nutrition, whether it be labs or whether it be the daily protocols that we have, all those things. We have brand new healthy lifestyle items. We have, for the very first time, our own luxury dry brush spa set. It's nice. It's just something that you use right at home. It comes with a facial brush. It comes with the gloves. It comes with the full body brush in its own carrying case that you can travel with it if you choose to. We've got the blue blocker based glasses that are absolutely fantastic for using when you get home at work to make sure you're lowering cortisol levels, especially if you're using a computer or watching TV at night. Those work phenomenally well. And during the day, since they're not total blue blockers, you are allowed to use them when staring at a computer screen. They're absolutely fantastic. I have them myself, and they're super lightweight, and they're recyclable, which is great because most of the plastic blue blockers are not. So we're always trying to just do our best for the environment, for our community as well. Other things are the copper tongue scraper, which is naturally antimicrobial. So that's a great, great one. We have our brand new Pro Stack shaker bottles, the 3-in-1 plus the hidden vitamin compartment. Love those, and those are back in stock with our brand new blue cap equilibrium ones. So there's a bunch of things over there. You can just check out the stocking stuffers or healthy lifestyle items, we're calling them. So that's been a lot of fun. I do recommend just checking out the end of each podcast show and what the specials are through the month of December as well. One big one I want to mention today, and you won't hear the intro, let's say tomorrow, because we take them off the end of the show for these very private CBD ones, is that today is the very last day we are giving away our 750 milligram. These are the big bottles. This is 25 milligrams per serving, $89.95 retail. And that's already $10 off anyways. We're giving those away absolutely free with all purchases over $250 at equilibriumnutrition.com. You will not see it added to the shopping cart, okay? Because we are not allowed to sell CBD oil. As of right now, we are still one of the only companies, and I've shared with you why, that's really been banned from selling CBD oil. So we can start with the conspiracy theories or whatever it might be, but I'll tell you right now, we're not allowed to sell it. So what we can do, and what I said is this, listen, if they want to try to take away my ability to give people, which is one of the reasons why I think we were banned, the very best quality, not a good quality, but the very best quality and tested. We put our certificate of analysis out there for everybody saying, can you beat this? Because this is it. We're 0.3 milligrams or less of THC. We have no mold in our product, no pesticides, completely organically grown. Can you basically saying there's nothing better than this? And we were shut down shortly after that for whatever reason. But we can't sell it, right? So we can't sell it, so I'm going to give it away. There's nothing wrong with that. So what I'm going to say is anybody who makes a purchase over $250, we basically give you $89.95 back. We send you a bottle of CBD oil, but it ends today, which is the last day of November in 2018, also known as November 30th, because there's 30 days in November. So this is just something that we did a pop-up, 48 hours or so. And again, I know that people will be listening to this well into the future, 2019, 2020, and beyond. But this offer is over after midnight on November 30th, this Friday, 2018. All right. So just wanted to make sure you heard about that. And again, this is only for podcast listeners in our community. That's it. CabralSupportGroup.com, we announce it in our private group. That's it. Nobody can get in unless we allow them to. But it is free for everyone to join, and you're welcome to. And then on the podcast. So I just love being able to do these things for you. And again, I always try to find a way around. Listen, that's the thing about me is that, you can build walls in front of me and not allow me to do things that I want to be able to bring to people that I think are the best interests of people, children, and pets using CBD oil. And I'm going to find a way around it one way or the other. And I said, if they won't let me sell it, I'm going to give it away. And that's that. So hopefully you enjoy that. All right, what I want to do is I actually want to move right into my research. So there's so much I could chat about, but what I want to do is I want to bring you 2 research, just quick takeaways, tidbits that I very much enjoy talking about, and 1 quick product review as well. All right, so on the the more serious side, there was a great study. This is done with about 55,000 people. You know that I look for big studies, right? And I look for them anywhere in the world. Well, this was done in China, and I'll name the study right now. It was researchers at, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, but Zhengzhou University, Zhengzhou, China, published online in Neurology. All right, so it's ZHENG-ZHOU University. All right, so this is analysis of 14 clinical trials, and it was published in the publication Neurology. So check this out. This was I love these just tidbits on how we can extend our life through good quality human nutrition. And I honestly do hope that you tuned in this week for my podcast on the only proven anti-cancer-based diet. And I just named the foods that conventional medicine says, that naturopathic medicine says, and that overall basically the herbs as well, herbology too. So that was on Tuesday of this week. I'll get you that podcast in just a moment, as well as today's show notes. So today's show notes are over at 1029. So just StephenCabral.com/1029. And the Cancer Show, the only proven anti-cancer diet, is at StephenCabral.com/1026. All whole foods that you can eat, just about 13 to 15 on a daily basis that can dramatically reduce your chance for cancer. Well, this one's great as well. This is how to reduce your risk for a stroke by 7%. Now, again, why am I talking about stroke? Why do I talk about cardiovascular disease? Why do I talk about cancer? If you can remove yourself from the chances of dying from cardiovascular risk, heart attacks, etc., stroke or vascular-based issues, as well as cancer, you've basically escaped 75% of the ways of basically mortality, of dying at a young age. If you can bypass those, the chances of you living well into your 80s and 90s goes up exponentially. But you have to keep the weight down, okay? Yes, keep the inflammation low, but by keeping the inflammation low, that's a given because stroke, I'm about to talk about aneurysms in a moment, cardiovascular issues and cancer, well, they thrive and they grow in an inflamed or inflammation-based environment inside your body. So this is simple. This is literally making sure that you get good quality B vitamins every single day. Now, I prefaced the show by saying each and every Friday in 2018, I've done a show on B vitamins. And every single super nutrient of the week Friday, I give you all of the whole foods to get these vitamins from. I'm a proponent of whole foods first and supplements, not high dose, but normal dose supplements to make sure you have a feel-safe and planned to just meet your daily requirements. But I'm not a mega dosing type person. Could you make a case for it for the first 6 to 12 weeks to up a deficiency? Absolutely. But not for a lifetime. I actually don't believe in that. Okay? There was at one point many, many years ago when I was trying to get well, I mega dosed with many things. Okay? I don't believe in that today. And that's because when I look at all of these vitamins, I say they're all fantastic and we need them for detoxification. We need them to prevent what? Well, our risk for stroke. Why? Because there's an issue with a person's vascular-based system if they're low on B12, if they're low on folate, but not folic acid, the natural form of folate, right? Where can we get these? Well, dark green leafy vegetables is one place. We can get them from egg yolks. We can get them from certain types of meat. We can get them from nuts and seeds. We can get them from certain types of grain. So we can get them from wherever we're looking for, but we have to stay away from the processed foods. You know that I'm a predominantly plant-based recommender. Why? Because I cite the research, the real research, the research that's the most predominant. Sure, you can find a case for everything, honestly. There's a case why you should only eat, potatoes. That's it, right? And there's a case why you should only eat this. But we're living in the real world, and if you look at someone, if you look at the research, there's not just me, right? There's other people out there. If the only thing I care about, and some other people, who are really unbiased about this, care about, is helping the people in their practice and themselves living a long, healthy life, then you're not going to pretend, you're not going to bend certain research studies to fit your agenda, right? You're going to fit it based on you trying to help the greatest amount of people and also trying to help yourself. Why wouldn't I want to live, I would say well into my 90s, 100 plus, why not shoot for it as long as I'm in good health? That's why I'm trying to do it now. I'm trying to get good health now. And I have the good health. I want to keep it, right? That's what I want to do. I didn't always have the good health. My life expectancy was not supposed to be very high based on, though, my current state before. My current state now is different. A level of energy I never experienced before now, right? So let's get those B vitamins. You can do it, of course, with the daily nutritional support shake every morning. You can do it with an activated multivitamin. You can do it with the active B complex, but you need those B vitamins. And of course, get them from your dark leafy greens especially. Okay, next research piece that I want to bring you is reducing the risk for aneurysms. This is important as well because aneurysms is not something that you just see like a stroke, but you can see high blood pressure, you can see vascular-based issues, clogging of the arteries. Well, a lot of times with an aneurysm, you don't know what's going on, right? It just happens, and unfortunately, it has a high risk for mortality. So this is a very interesting study right here. Okay, this is from Dr. Stackelberg, and Dr. Stackelberg is from the Institute of Environmental Medicine, Karolinska Institute, Stockholm, and was a lead author of a study for over how many? 80,000 people published in Circulation. 80,000 people. Okay, here's what it said. People who eat more than 2 servings of fruit daily are 25% less likely to develop aortic aneurysms than people who eat little or no fruit. And they are 43% less likely to have aneurysms that rupture. Pretty amazing. 2 servings of fruit. All of the people going through the integrative health practitioner certification right now are learning. That's what I'm recommending, right? I'm recommending 2 servings minimum for most people. For people that have difficulty with weight gain, we don't add it right away. But what do we do for people that do have difficulty gaining, basically they gain weight easily? Well, we're using berries. We're using cherries. We're using blueberries. We're using blackberries. We're using raspberries. We're using very low glycemic, high antioxidant, high fiber fruit. And it works phenomenally well, especially when you do it earlier in the day. So that's why everything that I try to bring you is all based on the science, but it's based on sound science because this makes sense. Because berries, if you listen to my cancer one, the only proven anti-cancer diet on Tuesday, is that there's no agenda. It makes sense. When you eat berries, they're loaded with antioxidants and plant-based phytochemicals that we've just begun to understand. It's that these things help squelch free radical damage, which helps squelch inflammation. And they allow for natural apoptosis to take place in the body, where unhealthy cells are removed from the body, essentially. It's an easy way. It's an easy process. But your body needs fruit and vegetables. So what happens when you're on these super low-carb diets for a long time? You're trying to transform your body because that has to be the only reason you're doing it, right? And you're on these super, high or fat diet. Well, that it has to only because you're trying to transform your body, but there's a healthier way. And that's the problem, is like we're sacrificing our long-term health for trying to get in great shape in your 20s, 30s, maybe 40s, and you realize like this just isn't worth it. Well, you can do both, right? You can have the great body and you can have the great health without sacrificing things by following a healthy nutrition plan. Realizing that fruit and vegetables and carbs are not the enemy. Overdoing them, yes. You have to re-regulate blood sugar. I'm not disagreeing with that. Not disagreeing with it at all, but we can't cut these out forever. Okay, I could talk about that all day, but I already did that on episode 1026. So the next one I want to talk with you about super quick, and it is the 3-in-1. It's called Get a Grip Avocado Peeler, Pit Remover, and Slicer. So it's truly an amazing work of art for about, I don't even know, I think it's around $5 or $6 or so. So if you are a person or a family like ours that eats a lot of avocado, so we have avocado, I would say every other day in my family. I try not to do avocado every day, but it's a good amount of the time. So what we do is we have a lot of avocados. We have some that are ripe, some that are ripening. And if you're an avocado person, it's like you have to time it just right, or you open that and it is this moldy, brown, mushy, whatever, and I won't touch it. My wife will eat, around it. I won't even touch it. I don't want any of that rotted avocado near me. So I'm trying to always look for that like perfect avocado. Well, with this all-in-one slicer, again, I have no affiliation with this company, but it works great. And so what you do is you just use the back end of it to peel right down the avocado in half. Cut it in half. And then you use this little hole in the back that's kid-safe as well to pop out that pit. And then what you do is you use the slicer to slice right down the middle and pull it right out for these beautifully sliced avocado slices. That's it. It's that easy to use. And just one, so I'm going to link that up for you today. I'll just put in avocado 3-in-1. That's it, avocado. And one other thing I do want to mention, because this has been very helpful for me, if you are not finishing the whole avocado, and a lot of people already know this, but keep the pit in. Only use the side that did not have the pit as you cut in half, because if you're an avocado eater, as you cut in half, the pit stays in one side. So what you do is you keep the pit in the other side, squeeze a little lemon over it, and then put it in one of your silicone-based bags in your refrigerator. And it will not brown and it will not get all nasty because the pit is a massive antioxidant-based unit. And then when you squeeze lemon over it, that's another antioxidant-based layer, and the acidity from the lemon will not allow the bacteria to grow there as well. So a little helpful tip. Hopefully that helps, because nobody likes to waste an avocado, especially but if you don't want to eat the whole thing. So avocado 3-in-1 is going in the notes, and that will be at stephencabral.com/1029 for the one that I just purchased. Okay, one more before we get to our super nutrient of the week, which I'm excited to bring you about. I'll be doing a lot more podcasts in 2019. I'll also be having more guests on my show. It's going to be it's a challenge for me just because I have an extremely busy schedule. I think of the busiest schedule in the world. I think that I'm up there with that. Every moment of every day is absolutely filled except for my private time, which I always tell you about, my quiet lunch and my walk that I always take in there. But I was just on a great interview with Michelle Lamoureux. She's got an amazing podcast called The Good Life Coach Podcast. I'm going to link it up. I will link up my interview with her. It was short. It was, about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And it allowed us to go deep enough on this topic of toxicity, this topic of why right now, one of the main overlooked things that we're dealing with in our culture is not a problem of too little, getting too little of things. It's often a problem of excess, too much of everything, too much of EMFs, too much of gut-based pathogens and overgrowth, too much toxicity from PCBs in the environment. So check out that podcast. It was a great one. Give her a like, give her a subscribe, check out her podcast, and check out her message. So that is at The Good Life coach, and I'm going to link that up today. And that again will be right over at 1029 for today's show. Okay, let's get into our super nutrient of the week, which is none other than aloe vera. Now, I checked through my notes because I'm through about 48 super nutrients of the week, and I did not see it in any of my notes. And aloe vera had to make my 2018 list. And the reason is this. People have heard about probably by now the many benefits of aloe vera for topical use, right? So they use it for sunburns or burns. We have 2 aloe vera plants in my house in Boston, in my condo, and my daughters know if they ever get a burn or they get a cut or anything like that, they actually we have one for them, and we have one like beautiful looking aloe vera plant that we try not to cut. But we have one that we literally use it as medicine, right? That's what it is. Plants are medicine. That's what we're talking about. So what we do is we just cut off a piece. We teach them how to rub it on the cut or rub it on burn that they might get. And then, of course, it's great for sunburns as well. I hope you're not getting a sunburn, but I do also recommend you get your sun. But if you need it, then you are going to use that topically. And if you use it right away, it works even better. So I love the cooling effects of aloe vera, even if you're not keeping it in your fridge. The effects of aloe are cooling on the body. So there are things that are heating, there are things that are cooling, etc. So this is a great one to use topically. Aloe vera, believe it or not, also has its own UV protectant. Now, it's not a strong one, but aloe vera used in whether it be natural moisturizers, items like that, actually has a natural UV protectant in there from the sun. It can also work great on acne. It can work great on psoriasis and eczema. So this is really a great product. But I want to talk about it as well nutritionally. So a lot of people don't know that aloe vera is actually loaded with minerals. So there's some B vitamins in there, yes, and B12. But really, when we're looking at aloe, we're looking at high mineral levels of zinc, manganese, magnesium, potassium, selenium, sodium, chromium, copper, and calcium. I don't know if you caught that right there because obviously I speak quickly, but it had calcium, potassium, magnesium, and sodium. What does that make it? A great electrolyte, right? A great electrolyte. So you can have some of these aloe vera juice as long as they are natural, they're organic, or they're clean, right? And you can actually get a lot of your electrolytes from those. You do not want the ones, though, mixed with sugar, right? Even if it's fruit juice, do not get those ones. We don't want to drink our fruit juice. We want to eat our fruit, okay? Eat our fruit, and we could juice some of our vegetables if that's okay. That's totally fine with me. So now it's pretty amazing. So it has all your electrolytes, but it also contains copper and zinc. Why? I mean, that's so great. Here's why. Copper and zinc, great for the skin. Also great for rebuilding the body. And copper and zinc should be taken together. That's why we have a product called Balanced Zinc. It helps balance the body in terms of energy and rebuilding. So pretty amazing. Just an overall great product. Do I recommend, taking aloe vera capsules or anything like that? Not really. I mean, we have a product called Healthy Gut Support that we use after our candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol or anytime you've used antibiotics. Now I no longer have candida overgrowth. I no longer have SIBO or H. pylori, but I use Healthy Gut Support twice a year for myself. And I do that to keep my gut strong because you can actually get intestinal permeability, which means the opening up of the lamina propria or the lumen in the intestines. And that can happen from stress. It can happen from not a lot of sleep. It can happen from poor food combined. It can happen from alcohol. So for me, I like to use it in January. I'm just a big advocate of using the Healthy Gut Support. After the holidays have passed, I say, okay, really time to get back in it. And then I love using it in the summer or right before the summer as well. So I try to use it twice a year. Sometimes I use it more, but that's when I use it. Everyone in our practice uses it as a CBO finisher for 12 weeks to rebuild that gut. Because what does the gut need? Well, it needs zinc. Okay, it needs zinc, but it also needs glutamine. Those are the two biggest proponents for, I call it gut food. Like literally, that's what helps rebuild the villi and the lumen of the gut. Now, one other thing that the Healthy Gut Support has that I'm talking about is aloe vera. Aloe vera does something very special for the digestive system, and that it squelches inflammation. So basically, it provides this gentle mucosal layer that squelches the heat and the inflammation and helps calm down a lot of IBS-based issues. So although and ulcerative colitis. So although we do not use aloe vera during our Candida bacterial overgrowth protocol because aloe vera actually has some great prebiotic-based qualities, so that's why we don't use it in the beginning. Just like we don't use garlic in the beginning, but we'll use it at the end, right? So there's always a method to our madness, as I say, but it's absolutely phenomenal for digestion. It's great for electrolytes, great for overall nutrients. I think it actually tastes pretty good too. It has kind of like a tangy taste to it. It's not sweet. If your aloe vera is sweet, that means there's been sugar added to it. It has a tangy taste to it. And also, again, since it has so many minerals, it's loaded with all of those great alkaline-based natural substances. One other point is I'll just add this, that since it has all the electrolytes, again, it always goes back to the minerals, it helps with hydration. So when there is a little bit of aloe vera in a drink or in a juice, something like that, and I'm not saying to go overboard, even if you just use Healthy Gut Support, it's going to allow you to uptake more of your water. And the reason is simple. Your water is better absorbed when it comes along with minerals. That's the bottom line. Your body knows what to do with water with minerals because as humans, that would be natural for us to drink some spring water that's loaded with minerals because the water has been running over rocks, right? Or it's at the bottom of a cavern, naturally purified water that I've spoken about before on the Friday reviews. So great product overall, definitely makes my super nutrient of the week. I was happy I was able to bring that to you today. I will link up everything today in the show notes. The Avocado 3-in-1, of course. Michelle Lemeroux's great new podcast that I was just on. I'm going to link up the Healthy Gut Support and whatever else I named during the show. We'll link that up as well. So thanks so much for tuning into the Cabral Concept today. Don't forget, if you get a chance, pick up that free bottle of CBD oil with all qualifying orders by today. Today is the last day at midnight, 11/30/2018. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing weekend. I'll talk with you tomorrow on our Cabral House Calls. Did you know that the body really only becomes sick or imbalanced in only two ways? Over time, you become deficient in vital nutrients, and you also accumulate toxins internally and from the environment. As those nutrients diminish and you increase your total toxic load, your body then begins to show the first signs of dis-ease. It's actually quite predictable, and the good news is that if we know how you began to fill up that proverbial rain barrel, we also know how to empty it to begin the healing process. I was fortunate enough to learn this ancient healing process from my mentor after suffering from debilitating diseases for close to a decade. It was only when I began to implement these techniques did I finally overcome my illnesses and go on to live a life of energy and vitality that I now enjoy. I'd like to share with you now what I discovered after traveling all over the world and how to combine the best of ancient healing wisdom with state-of-the-art science. Allow me to teach you exactly how I've been able to help over 250,000 people to empty their rain barrel and begin to transform their body and lives into what they've always hoped they could be. To get your copy of the international bestseller, The Rain Barrel Effect, simply go to stephencabral.com/rainbarrel.